What's up everybody, it's CJ Plays here, and I'm back with another Rockwood Island renovation video. The house that we're going to be furnishing today is called the Petunia. It is a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom home, and it's a 3-story house, so this house is kind of big. Now, I knew that I wanted to make this house for a couple of supernatural roommates, so I did something kind of like this in my Rosewood Park series that I did like a couple of months ago. I can leave that video linked down below if you want to look at it, but I kind of like the idea, but I wanted to kind of like change it a little bit. So the first time I did this for Rosewood Park, I had a vampire and I had a fairy living together. So basically the vampire decorated one room, the fairy decorated one room, and it kind of just like went like that for the rest of the house. But this time I wanted to kind of make this a little bit realistic. I mean, I know we're talking about like occults, but I wanted this to kind of be like realistic as to real life. So we have like a nice communal area downstairs, you know, like the kitchen, the living room, and then like the rooms are more so personalized, if that makes sense. So I kind of went with something like that for this house. So right now, as you can see, I am going with a green wallpaper. Whenever I think about the Supernatural expansion pack, I always think of the color green. I think it's because like the little logo for the pack is green, so I just kind of always go for green with this pack. But either way, I went with some green wallpaper. Now, when I first was furnishing this house, my lights flickered out because it's a storm going on right now, so I lost all of my footage. However, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise because I kind of already had like most of the downstairs done anyway, so when the lights came back on, I was able to kind of just like go back really quick and just do everything. There is like this little bump out section over by the window, so I kind of like filled it in with a platform. It's a little bit weird though because it kind of like makes the platform appear on the outside of the building, so I tried to cover it up with some railing, but I really wanted to have like a little altar area for the lunar horoscope item. So right now I'm using the fireplace from Supernatural, the rug from Supernatural. A lot of the downstairs and a lot of the build is just the Supernatural pack, but I did use some other stuff here and there. I don't know why, but I'm really obsessed with using this little splat rug from Supernatural and putting cow print on it. I don't know why, y'all. I need to get out of that. I'm gonna stop. But we have a green cow print rug. I'm also like pairing it up with some of these gothic like chairs and stuff like that from the Oh My Goth set. I kind of went with a greenish color scheme at first, but then I was like, maybe that's a little bit too much green on green with the wallpaper, so I opted out for a blue color, which I think was a little bit better. I think the blue looks better. I also used the coffee table. I think it's from the Regal set. It's from one of the sets on the Sims 3 store. And then the TV above it is, I think it's from the Oh My Goth set as well, I want to say. So now I'm kind of going in and like filling out this little like altar space. I wanted to use like the lunar horoscope item because I felt like the occult Sims probably use it to kind of know like when the moon phases are and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to like put it down here. I don't think your Sims can actually use it though. It was meant to be kind of decorative anyway, but I don't think they can get up there. I think they need a stair in The Sims 3 to get on a platform, I want to say. So it's just like for decoration. If you don't like it, you can always delete it and stuff. And then we had like a little extra space behind this chair, so I decided to like put a little dresser back here with some plants and stuff like that, just to kind of fill in the space a little bit more. I didn't know this at first, but apparently you can recolor the like the bottom part of the platform, so I went with like the matching wallpaper and kind of like try to like make it look good. I've also put some nice tile above it as well, just to kind of separate it from the space. But that's pretty much like everything for this little altar. I think it looks kind of cool. I did put like a little curtain behind it too, just to kind of make it look a little bit more fancy. Actually, I used a lot of curtains in this build. I don't really ever put curtains in my sim builds. I often feel like they make the room a little bit darker than I would like for them to be, so I really don't ever use curtains and blinds, but today was the exception, okay? I really wanted to use some. Also, by the way, too, y'all, we only have one more house left to go for this little series, and then we'll be done. I feel like it took me a lot longer to do Rosewood Park than it did this world. This world's a little bit smaller, but like we're almost done. Oh, and also, too, y'all, you'll see me now. I'm using like that object from the Supernatural pack. I kind of like made a little like glassed display area, and I wanted to like use that little like wooden like wood sculpture thing. I don't know why, but I feel like it means a lot to like the occults or something. Maybe it's like a relic or something like that. So I wanted to kind of like put it in a glass display, and I ended up putting like a bug light above it so it could kind of glow, and I thought it was kind of cool. I put it on top of one of those little display tables from the World Adventures expansion pack, and I thought it looked so good. But yeah, so now we're just moving on to the kitchen. So I'm using some base game countertops. I used the stove and fridge from the Midnight Hollow world on the Sims 3 store, and I was like, ooh, that looks so good in here, especially with the recolored cabinets and stuff in here too. Like, I think it looks nice. I also gave the fridge a little gold accent to kind of like blend in with the stove. I'm also using the matching upper cabinets and some pots and pans in here as well. I did move the windows so it wouldn't like block the stove and stuff like that. And then I think I used the range hood from the Pets expansion pack, I want to say. And the table that I'm using is from the World Adventures expansion pack, and I also used the matching chairs. I recolored them to be blue so it can kind of match in with some of the living room. Like I said, down here it's kind of like a greenish, bluish color scheme. Like, I don't know. I think it looks nice, but you'll have to let me know what you think down below. And then now I'm just kind of recoloring the curtains. I went with like that lock and key print. I don't know if it's base game, but I use it a lot. And I also used it for like the bed upstairs. And now I'm just kind of recoloring the doors. I already play tested the house, so everything should work. But now I'm just kind of like recoloring the doors because originally they were white and they kind of stood out a little bit too much. So I wanted these to be a little bit more like worn looking, you know. I feel like this house is kind of older anyway, so I kind of wanted it to kind of be like a brown color. Same thing with like the stairs and stuff like that and the railings. I kind of wanted to go for like a darker color scheme. Now, moving on, this is the first bathroom, so I feel like this is more like a communal space bathroom. Like, anyone could use it. If they have guests to come over, they can use it as well. I went with some older looking tile down here, and I kind of went with like a dark burgundy-ish color for the wallpaper in here. Maybe it's like a brown burgundy kind of color. And then I ended up using the tub from the, I think that's from the Island Paradise pack, I want to say. I matched it up with the toilet from the Supernatural, and then I used some more of those base game cabinets. Honestly, I used those base game cabinets in almost all the bathrooms. And then I ended up using that little dish rack or soap rack object from the Pets pack, and I was like, ooh, that would look so good on the wall. I wanted to put a mirror in here, so I used one from the store. And honestly though, I think that's like everything for the bathroom. It is just like a little communal space bathroom, you know, it's a shared space. Now I'm just going back in the kitchen because I forgot to put the sinks and the appliances and stuff like that. I also put a trash can, and then I went back and added the range hood. I also gave the range hood like some gold accents to kind of match in with the stove and the fridge and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for downstairs. So now we go upstairs. So I was trying to like figure out what room I wanted to be like what occult and stuff. So I decided to make this room over here for the vampire sim. I feel like the occults in this house are not really friends. I don't want to say that they don't get along, but it's one of those things where it's like real life roommates, I guess, for some people, where it's like, you know the person, but you don't really like hang out with them. Maybe you talk about like bills and maybe like small talk, but they don't really ever like associate that much, if that makes sense. So for this vampire, he's just kind of here, you know. I feel like he just lives here. Honestly, y'all, I did not know at all until today that Supernatural comes with a vampire altar. I always thought that Late Night was the only pack to come with one, but no, there's actually one with Supernatural. So let me know down below. Did y'all know this? I feel like most of y'all gonna be like, yes, CJ, we've been new. But like, I had no idea until today. So I wanted to use like it's new to me, okay? It's old, but it's new to me. So I wanted to use like the new vampire altar, and I put it down here. I did recolor a bunch of the stuff. It took me a while to figure out the thought process behind this room because I knew I wanted it to be like red, but I was like, that's all I really had to go off of was the color red. So I was trying to like figure out how to make this look nice. So I did end up like moving the chair over here from the Supernatural pack. I moved it up against the wall. I added a desk in here too. So I think the desk is from the Frontier Find set. It just kind of looked old and fancy, and I was like, I kind of want to use it in here. I also used some artwork from the Supernatural pack and a clock. I did end up like after recording adding some more stuff in here, so I put like a little vase in the corner. I did remove this end table in place of a bookshelf because I kind of felt like this vampire sim, you know, he is just here. He probably spends his days on the computer and probably just reading a lot and stuff like that. Like, he doesn't really leave. He's kind of rich anyway. Like, so I kind of feel like he just kind of just vibes out in his room most of the day. I feel like maybe at nighttime he like leaves and stuff, you know. But moving on, this is the second bedroom. So I feel like this one is the biggest one because I wanted this one to be for a wizard. Now the wizard, y'all, his story is kind of sad. So okay, so like, just to let you know, it's kind of sad. So basically, the wizard used to live here with his wife, and his wife died, and he's trying his best to bring her back to life. I think there's like a resurrection spell in the Supernatural pack where you can bring Sims back to life, I want to say. And I kind of feel like he's trying his best to find or learn the spell, but it hasn't really been successful. He's been trying to learn it for years. He's a little bit older than like the other occults in the house, and I kind of feel like what he did was he like, since he didn't really have a job, he kind of converted his house into like an apartment for other people to move in. So like, he doesn't really like the other occult sims that much, like in the house. It's more so like, stay out of my way, I'm gonna stay out of your way. He kind of just spends most of his days in his room just trying to bring his wife back to life and just trying to like research alchemy and spells and potions and stuff like that. So I gave him an alchemy station in here. I also put like a little picture of a witch. I feel like that's probably what his wife looked like, you know, so he has like a little picture of her in his room. I put like a lot of clutter in here, so we have like some books on the floor. We have like that little mood object from the Supernatural pack. I used a bed from the store. I think it's the Indulgent set. I ended up using that in here. I have the magical mirror, so you can give yourself makeovers and stuff and maybe consult the person in the mirror, you know. I'm also using some of those curtains from the Supernatural pack too, and then I also put like a grandfather clock in here. It's just a lot of clutter, okay? He doesn't really ever leave his room. Maybe to eat, but that's about it, because like he has an ensuite bathroom, so he doesn't even have to leave to go to the bathroom. It's purely just to eat food. But yeah, I kind of went with a more like bluish gray kind of color scheme in here, you know. It's kind of like a more like moody kind of room. And then I also put like some more pictures up. But as for his ensuite bathroom, I kind of went with like the same like similar color scheme. It's more like a bluish kind of color, more like a gray color. I used like a checkered print floor in here. I used the same toilet from the Supernatural pack. I used some more of those base game counters in here. And then I ended up like putting some book clutter on the floor, because I feel like maybe when he's in the tub or maybe when he's, you know, using the bathroom, he'll still be researching and stuff like that in here. I also put like some of the toilet paper up behind the toilet, because, you know, he's not really like the cleanest sim, as you can see, you know, so it's a little bit messy in here. He's spending all his time researching, you know. So that's basically like it for his room, though. I feel like his story was like so sad. I feel like I really want to make this sim and I want to like make his wife and then like have him bring her back to life. Like literally, the story is so sad to me. I also ended up putting a big rug in the bathroom as well, but that's pretty much like everything for his room. So now I'm just kind of going back to the vampire room. I'm putting up some curtains, and then I realized that there's like a bathroom downstairs. So I was going to start on the upstairs, but then I was like, wait, let's go to the bathroom first. So basically every occult in this house has their own like personal bathroom in a way. So I decided to make the second bathroom for the vampire sim. So this one is a little bit more fancier. Like I went with some nice like tile for the bathroom floor. It has like a similar color wallpaper. I think it's actually the same wallpaper. And then I ended up using like the Cambodia set shower and sink in here, as well as like a nice fancy mirror in here too, because, you know, he's a vampire. He's a fancy vampire, you know. So I kind of wanted him to have like a fancy bathroom, and I think it looks pretty cool. But now we're going to go ahead and move to the upstairs portion. So before we tackle the last bedroom, I wanted to kind of have like a nice little like sitting area. So I put like a display case in here, and I also ended up putting a little chair. I used like the same one from downstairs. And then I also ended up putting like a bookshelf in a little nook space by the window, just to kind of have like a nice little area. You know, you could come up here if you want to sit down, read, or like store stuff if you need to. That's pretty much like everything for this little section. Now, the next bedroom that we're going to be working on is for a werewolf sim. So usually when I think of werewolves in the Sims, or just werewolves in general, I think of like Sims that are kind of rowdy. They like to fight. They kind of like to, you know, just be extra. I didn't really want to go for that this time around with this bedroom. So the sim that lives in here is fresh out of university, and they needed a place to stay. So they're like the newest roommate in this house. You know, they're younger than the other occults, and they don't really like him that much, because I feel like he's kind of like a party animal, but he's not really. He's more so into art. He has an art degree. So I kind of feel like he doesn't really like, he can't really like relate to the other occults, because they're older, they're more experienced with stuff. They kind of just see him as a nuisance, but they agreed to let him stay in the house because he can pay rent, you know. So that's kind of like the only reason why he's really here. I feel like it might just be one of those things where he has to earn respect from the other occults, so maybe over time he'll get their respect. But as of now, though, I'm using like that really big bed from the, I think it's like Into Nature set, but I realized that this room was so big that I needed to kind of like downsize, so I gave him like a single bed instead. I'm also like scuffing up a lot of the wood tones in here. His rug is really old. He is still a werewolf, okay, so he's not as rowdy as some, but he's still kind of rowdy. And I'm just kind of like putting up some art and stuff in here as well. I had a lot of fun decorating this room, because I don't really ever think of like my werewolf sims being artists, you know, so it's kind of cool to kind of like have something like that. So yeah, I'm putting up like pictures from university, and art easel, just stuff like that, you know. But that's pretty much everything for his bedroom. And then the last bathroom is basically for the werewolf sim, but in all, that is pretty much everything for the entire Speedball, y'all. We only have one more house to go, in Rockwood Island. So we're gonna do that one next week, and then that'll be it for this little series. So yeah, I don't know, I had a lot of fun doing these houses. I think it's like really cool. I loved being able to step outside of my comfort zone and like do things that I normally wouldn't do in The Sims, so it's kind of cool. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. Follow me over on Twitch where I stream a lot more of The Sims, and I will see you in the next video. Also, stick around for the screenshots too. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!